I have been cheating for 2 years and I can't take it anymore. I have been cheating with a former colleague for about 2 years. It's not a real affair. We don't meet regularly. We don't plan anything. But when we happen to see each other at shared conferences or professional events, it almost happens by reflex. It just happens. Both of us have serious partners. I don't know his girlfriend, but I know they live together. My boyfriend is the kindest person I know. He is reliable and loving. He talks about the future with me. We have been together for 4 years. The first time was at an after-work event 2 years ago. We drank too much. We went on all night and we couldn't get enough. Since then, it has continued. We don't plan meetings, as I said, but we run into each other quite often, and when we do it, almost always happens. I have been doing this for 2 years, and now the guilt is starting to eat me up from the inside. I can't handle it anymore, but I don't know what to do. I have realized that the first step toward feeling better is to stop. But it's hard. He is incredibly handsome. He is so good in bed. Unfortunately, better than my boyfriend. So that makes it hard to stop. I have really tried, but over all these years, I have only managed to say no once or twice. I seem incapable of saying no. I need help figuring out what I should do. I can't handle this on my own anymore, and I can't talk about it with my friends. They all adore my boyfriend. He would find out immediately. Please give me advice. Update 1. I started therapy in secret. It has been 3 weeks since I first wrote. I sought therapy without telling my boyfriend. I said it was for work-related stress. He believed me immediately. He trusts me. That makes everything worse. The anxiety symptoms have become stronger. I sleep poorly. I have a constant knot in my stomach. I have trouble eating. When my boyfriend touches me, I feel like a liar. Sex has become almost impossible. I can't relax. I can't let go of control. He notices it. He asks if I'm okay. I need to let go of inhibitions to enjoy it, but that's impossible because I'm afraid I might say something in the middle of the act that reveals me. My experiences with the other man are completely different from those with my boyfriend. What if, in the heat of the moment, I ask him for something that only the other man has done with me? How would I explain that afterward? My therapist asked a question that I still think about. How long can you maintain the lie? I had never reflected on it long term. She said that when you lie all the time, it becomes harder to keep the lie alive. She gave an example. Let's say you have lied about meeting a person on Wednesday at 10 in the evening. That is the lie. But everything else you also have to lie about. If he asks you, did you watch the latest episode of Two and a Half Men? Then you have to think about when it aired. Where did I say I was when it aired? Could I have watched it before or after I met this person? And so on and so on. Lies, when they go on for a long time, tend to turn almost everything into a lie. You are forced to lie about a large number of things. And because nothing is true, there is no real memory to rely on. Instead, it is a complicated network of lies that you have to keep track of. The truth, on the other hand, exists stored as memories you have experienced, much easier to manage. I sat there with my mouth open. It was spot on. That was exactly how it felt. Everything becomes a lie. She also asked what I get out of these meetings. I answered that the sex is magical. She pointed out that it probably is because what you are doing is quite taboo, and that makes the excitement and the meetings more satisfying in a way. She asked what I think about while the act is going on. I answered that I am just completely absorbed by what we are doing, and that the anxiety comes immediately afterward when we are finished. It decreases as time passes before the next meeting, and then when I know we are going to meet or suspect it, my anxiety increases extremely. Because now I have the chance to say no. I should say no next time, but I know that I might not be able to. That makes my anxiety spiral. I have had many sessions with her. These are just a few things we've talked about. My first post got a lot of attention. I didn't get much love exactly, but I got some advice at least. Most people seem to agree that I should tell my boyfriend so that he can choose whether he wants to stay. But I really don't want to do that. I know that he takes such things extremely seriously, and there is no upside. I am only thinking about him in all of this. The only thing that happens is that he gets crushed, and I don't want that. I have gotten a stomach ulcer from my guilt, and my doctor has prescribed medication. I don't know how long I will be able to live like this. Update 2, he talked about children. I couldn't breathe. It has been 6 weeks since the first post. My boyfriend brought up the question of children over dinner yesterday. Not the first time, but this time he said that he would like us to start talking about it more concretely. He was so happy. He talked about names, about how he would be as a father. I sat there trying to smile, but the room started spinning. I felt panic. I can't build a life with someone I lie to every day, I can't have children with him. I can't become a parent with this lie between us. So am I supposed to be a mother when I'm at home with my child and a slut getting used up by another man when my boyfriend is home with our child? No, no, that doesn't work. First, I have to sort this out. I have to become a person I can live with before I bring another life into the world. I have started researching what could happen if I were to tell. Can infidelity be forgiven? Will he ever be able to trust me again? Things like that. It doesn't look good, and my boyfriend is very traditional. He would never trust me again. He would dump me on the spot, and then he would be scarred for life. I don't want to do that to him. He is wonderful, and I really don't want to lose him. He would be a perfect father. My therapist asked if I feel any deeper feelings for the other man beyond the sexual. My answer was crystal clear: no. He looks like a model, but beyond that, I feel nothing for him. Besides, I could never be with someone whom I know is cheating. Crazy, right? When I said that, my therapist looked like she had swallowed something unpleasant. She tried to hide it, but I could see it in her expression. My therapist says that I need to make a decision. Either learn to live with the lie, she does not recommend that, or tell the truth. I asked her whether she thought I should do it because it is the right thing toward him. She said that her patient is me. I am the one she focuses on and what is right for me, but that from a moral perspective, it is also right toward him. They coincide. How do you say it? When do you say it? Those of you who have confessed? Did it get better, or did everything just get destroyed and you regretted it? Those of you who say that I have to tell don't know my boyfriend? He will not take it well and everything will get worse. I believe that the best way to solve this is to stop seeing the other man. The problem is that it's not possible. We work at the same company and our areas of work overlap a bit, which means that we will run into each other sporadically as long as I work here. I would have to change jobs. But I am considering doing that. I have started looking around for something else. But I work in a fairly narrow field, so there aren't that many jobs available. Update 3. I told him everything. It's over. 2 months have passed since the first post. I told my boyfriend this weekend I couldn't live in this lie anymore. I have lost a lot of weight. I don't eat, don't sleep. I have gotten some strange rashes on my body that can't be explained. My stomach ulcer means I can't keep much food down and I am in constant pain. I came to the conclusion that this is destroying me if I don't change something. I had actually stopped sleeping with the other man before I told my boyfriend. From the previous update onward, I have met him probably 5 times, but not once did we end up in bed. I felt that I finally had control, but to my surprise, the feelings of shame did not disappear and my condition did not improve. So when we were sitting on the balcony, I got an impulse and just told him what I had been doing. I asked him not to say anything until I was finished. I think I talked for almost 30 minutes before I was done. I couldn't meet his gaze while I was talking. When I was finished, he looked devastated and angry. The thing is that I felt the relief in my body immediately as I started talking about it. The more I told, the better it felt. His reaction came in waves. First shock and silence, then crying, then anger. Not aggressive, but devastated. He couldn't understand that I had done something like that. He had trusted me blindly. He had never in his life been able to guess that I would do something like that to him. He asked me to sleep somewhere else that night. I went to a friend's place. We had sparse contact for a few days. All my energy went into not bombarding him with calls and texts and letting him be. I spent most of the first day curled up in a fetal position in bed. My friend, who is married to a really good guy, perhaps thought that I had been an asshole to him, but she didn't say much. She supported me as a friend, but I know that she would never accept something like that or do anything similar. She and her guy have been together for many years, and my friend is an incredibly beautiful woman. Both of them are attractive, by the way. Both are like fashion models. She is the female version of my affair partner. She gets offers from all directions, all the time, and always says no, always. She also gets upset if someone who knows she is married makes her an offer. She is a fantastic role model. I feel so much sorrow, but I also feel an enormous relief. I am ashamed to admit it, but I don't have to lie anymore. I don't have to carry this with me all the time. Think about what I say and what I do. My therapist calls it liberating sorrow. I've talked a little with him this week, but he is not really ready to sit down and talk yet. He has asked some questions over text. I chose to be brutally honest, no more lies regardless of what he asks. He has asked a bit about the circumstances around how it started and why. Since it's over text, it might be a bit easier to be honest about. When he asked me what we did, meaning details about meetings and such, I asked him if he really, really wanted to know. I said that I had promised him to be honest all the way through, and I meant it. But such information might only hurt more than it helps. He reconsidered and chose not to ask anything more. That feels good. It's a sensitive subject even for me. Because if I am to be honest about all of that, I will hurt him even more, and I don't want to tell and admit certain things. My symptoms have become a bit better. Everything seems to have stabilized. I am not getting worse anymore. Some things have improved. My mental health is much better. I am still depressed over what I did to him and how he is doing, but I feel better in that everything with the other man is over and I am no longer lying. I am not losing more weight, but I still weigh far too little. I have some trouble with my appetite, but the stomach ulcer has improved. For those of you who said that it would feel better once I told, you were right. I have received some personal messages where I gained insight into how others have handled it. It has been invaluable information. It seems that in most cases, it is difficult for a relationship to survive something like this. Unfortunately, my relationship will probably meet the same fate as it looks. He has said that he most likely cannot stay with me. I am currently living on the hope that he will come to the opposite conclusion. Final update, 4 months later. Guilt has become responsibility. It has been 3 months since I told him. We are no longer together. He could not get past it. I understand him. We met once to talk properly. It was about 4 weeks after I told him. He had needed time. He looked tired, worn down. He said that he had tried to understand, that he had tried to find a way forward. But every time he thought of me, he saw me with the other man. He couldn't stop thinking about details that he didn't actually want to know. He woke up at night and thought about it. I didn't know what to reply to that. I am so glad that he didn't ask about the details because that would have made things much, much worse. He asked if I understood what I had taken from him. Not just the relationship, but his ability to trust a future partner, his sense of security, his vision of the future. We were going to have children. We were going to build a life. Now all of that was gone, and he didn't know how he would ever be able to trust someone again. That was the worst part, to realize that I hadn't just hurt him, but maybe destroyed something in him. He said that he could no longer trust me, and that it was impossible to move on from this. I could see that he was really trying to hold himself together while we were sitting there talking. He barely managed. I didn't manage so well. I cried constantly. I went through an entire stack of napkins. I think the waitresses tried to avoid our table. They looked at us, but no one came over to refill our cups until we started waving to get the check. Afterward, I went home and just sat for a long time. I felt no panic this time, no anxiety, just a heavy, still sorrow. My friend, whom I have been staying with for almost a month now, tried to comfort me as best she could. Now it was over, for real. It went exactly as I had anticipated. It feels good that the lies are over. Terrible that it cost me the future with a man whom I truly loved and who truly loved me. That experience that I threw away my entire relationship for, I don't even think about anymore. It doesn't tempt me, and the only thing I feel when I think back on it is what a senseless idiot I was to throw away an entire life for a few rounds in bed. I have continued with therapy. It is the best thing I have done. My therapist helps me understand why I did what I did so that I never do it again. It is something I worry about extremely much. If I were to be faced with the opportunity again right now, I would say no. But what happens in my next relationship when all of this lies far behind me and the guilt around it is no longer fresh? Would I be able to say no to a beautiful man then? We have talked a lot about responsibility, about the difference between guilt and responsibility. Guilt was what ate me up from the inside. It was destructive and paralyzing. Responsibility is something else. It is acknowledging what I have done without running from it or making myself the victim. It is understanding the consequences of my choices and living with them. I have changed jobs. It took time, but I found something lower pay, but it was worth it. I don't need to see him anymore. We have not had contact since I quit. It feels right. Physically, I am much better. I have gained weight again. The stomach ulcer has healed. The rashes are gone. I sleep better than I have in 2 years. My body was on the verge of giving up during the time I was lying. Now that I am not anymore, it is healing. Mentally, it is mixed. I am not happy, but I am no longer in constant anxiety either. I can breathe. I feel more like a real person again instead of someone playing a role. My ex-boyfriend then. Well, we have some mutual acquaintances. Some of them cut off contact with me when what I had done came out, but those who talked to me said that he has buried himself in work, trains, and plays badminton. He is not dating. Someone had asked if it wasn't time to do that now. But he had said that I don't want anything to do with women. I was sad when I heard that. I have hurt him so deeply that he no longer trusts any woman. That is what he said to me at our last meeting, but I perhaps didn't believe that it went so deep that it would remain after almost half a year. I am not dating either. I refuse to do so until I have healed completely, and above all, until I am sure that I will never do something like this again. I am not going to crush another man for purely selfish reasons.
If you liked this story, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot, and you won't miss out on any future stories. Take care and live your best life.